Welcome, welcome, welcome to our time to get creative together. And I'm excited about today. I'm excited. It's about like liquids and things and I'm prepared. And you know what time it is. It's smock o'clock. Time to get to painting. Good hello again. Good morning, Mama Jane. Yeah. Hey Rebecca, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Oh, it's good to see you. Oh, Roberta, what's up? How are you? It's good to see y'all on here with me. Y'all, I am so excited about this painting today. My paintbrushes are behind me. Look what I did with this little container to put my brushes in. I just had this like thing that somebody made. And I like it. Anyway. Oh, look at that. That's gonna be right there. Um, So today I'm going to paint. So join me in either doing something creative or join me in the conversation so that it's like funsies, please. Um, I want to paint today and I want to um, focus on a color theme. I was actually, hey, Santa Buffalo, what's happening? I was wanting to paint with a theme, like color palette. And I was remembering that I have no more white paint, which kind of makes it a little bit more challenging. Um, but I have a metallic white. I just don't really want to use it. But maybe it'll be cool. No, I'll use it. It's a thing. So I'll show you what I did last week because it's dry now. So this is what I did last week. Um, I I feel like vertical, although I painted it like this, but I feel like that. Anyway, that's what I did last week. I really groove on what the gold does to it. Um, and I really like just like staring at it because I feel like, I don't know, I get all up in it. Like, rah. So that's what I did last week. Woo. From a distance. Looks totally different from a distance, doesn't it? Anyway, so I've been painting just like with a myriad of colors. I'm like, I like this color, I like that color, because that's how I paint. Um, and then this week I was like, I want to paint same way, but with a color palette. So the palette that I'm choosing, it's reds. And because I mean, we're on Valentine's Day. It's like this month of love. So I would like to talk about love today. Because why not? Right? Why not? Oh, this one looks like it's funky. Oh, this one looks funky. You know, you try to shake it and it's like, oh, there we go. Oh God, you hear that? It sounds like it's like solid. Oh, what kind of stationery do you want, Roberta? Said you wish you had stationery. I think I've had stationery once, like nice stuff, and I always, you know what I love? I like notebooks. I like just like with the lined paper. And in fact, I need more because I used to have a bunch, um, and now they're all full because I write a lot. I write a lot. I write a lot. I take a lot of notes and I write a lot. So that's my kind of stationery personally. um, so can we talk about love, y'all? Can we talk about love today? I don't even care what about love. Anything about love. Where did you learn about love? Rebecca says I'm obsessed with notebooks and stationery and pens. Oh my god, y'all! I don't have them in here. I have this set of gel pens that are so awesome. They're so cool, and it's like rainbow color. Makes me really happy. And stickers. Oh my God. So occasionally my mom sends me something in the mail, like a card, and it brings me so much joy because she will put stickers on the outside of the envelope, and it just makes me really happy because I used to do that and I just don't have stickers right now. Actually, I think I may have stickers right now. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to drink this and then I'm going to start my first coat. I'm thirsty. If my teeth are green after I take a sip, you're welcome. It's a green drink. It's a shake. Okay, so my first, I'm gonna put a base coat on, and it's interesting. Okay, so I know that this is orange. I'm aware, but I want to put the orange over the blue because this is the canvas I'm using. It's already been painted blue, and I just want to cover it up. So that's what I'm gonna do first. I just squeezed it on there. I wonder if you can see it. Oh yes. Do y'all mind if it's just like that and I can just like move my hands? Let me know if you like need to see me. But I can see you like my little my palette. Everything's backward. My palette's over here. Anyway, yeah. Let me know if you want me to move the camera or if you actually want to see me paint. So you let me know. I do for you. So here's a question. Where did you, before you experienced love, were you taught about love? And if so, what were you taught? I wasn't taught love. I was just told love. I was just told, I love you. I was not told like I love you because um or whatever. I was just told I love you. And I could feel like what that meant a little bit, but I was never taught what on earth that even meant in the first place. Leave it so you can watch. Okay, cool. Let me know if y'all change your mind. I want this to be a really thick coat, so I'm adding more and more paint, which is kind of fun. Oh, I need to go this way with it. Okay. Because I can see that blue coming up underneath it, which is okay. That's why I chose the orange, because that blue when it pops up, it doesn't really look blue so much. I really want this to be thicker of a coat. There we go. Okay, it's getting there. There we go. This will be the last, and then I can move on. And I like when the paint gets like real thick on there. So yeah, y'all. That's my question. That's my question to start this conversation today. How did you learn about love? Do you remember learning about it? Was it something that was talked about in your home, like a topic that was talked about? It was not a topic that I remember. Oh, Rebecca says, I love that red so much. Check it out. So I know it looks red. It's not. It's Tangelo orange, according to the Americana brand of paint. But it looks red, right? I know. I'm really excited to see what the reds are going to look like on it. There we go. Okay. Oh, I forgot my water. Ah. Okay. I'm gonna pop you up for a second. I forgot my water and I can't rinse off my brush without it. But I have drinking water. You see? I'll use it. Not a topic either. Just told love you, right? I talked to someone recently and she has trauma around love. And not necessarily that love was the traumatizer, but the way love was taught to her and then used against her. Like that was a reality um, for her. Rebecca says, I learned about love through church and my best childhood friends and romantic soulmates. Ooh, Rebecca, what did your church teach you about love? Because I grew up in the Catholic Church. And when I say I grew up in the church, we went on like holidays. Like my parents kind of were over the going to church um, when I was young. That you are loved. You were taught that? That's so cool. Like, that was not, I don't remember that ever being a teaching in the Catholic realm. Could have just been the church that was chosen. I don't know. But, okay, now I'm using a red. Rebecca says, I also had a really strong support group through my church and youth group. They taught me that I am special. That's so cool. I'm like, what? But it was continuously challenged at home where there was no real love. Oh, man, talk about some duality right there. Gotta go that way. Talk about some duality right there. Like living in two different places with love and the concept of it. Like having one place say, you are loved. And then you go to the other place that's home and they're like, nah, not really. Yeah. And you lost yourself to drugs, sex, etc. Now I'm back. Whoop, whoop. That's exciting that you're back. I was taught, I think that I was more taught about love through movies that um, were like, and I'm talking like early childhood stuff, like Disney movies, right? That love was being saved. Um, hey, Ben, how are you? PRN taught you love. I love that. Um, Disney movies taught me that love was something that I would receive in the form of a prince on a horse. Yeah, movies. Yeah. Guess picked it up from Sleeping Beauty, Rebecca says. Um, yeah, like the stories of like Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella. And it was interesting because there was always a struggle. And like I get that movies want to have a struggle because there's always, that's the point of a story. But if you're telling a story about love, like does the story about love have to be like, so you were abused first and then all these bad things happen and then someone has to come and save you and then you can be in love and experience it. Like that's what we were taught. It's getting darker here in the daytime. I'm like, this is not easy to see. I'm so curious how this will turn out. So I'm not really, so I'm just pulling these. I took a red. Okay, you can see. You can see what I'm doing. You'll see more of the color nuances in it. When there's more light and it's dry. But I took a dark red and then a lighter red and dotted them together as you saw. And I'm bringing it out. But like I grew up with this notion that like love was going to come to me in the right, it was going to come to me in the form of a man to save me. Which then I was like, well, I guess I need to be saved. Guess something's wrong with me. I'm really grouping on this so far, y'all. You can't really see it that well. I will hold it up in a moment once the edges are a little bit more dry. But I'm really grouping on it so far. What other ways did you all learn about love? I remember, the love movies, the love stories that I grew up with. The one that just came to mind was Pretty Woman. Is it really a love story? I mean, like for real, is it really a love story? It really is a love story. I remember Beauty and the Beast. Well, that's a really runny red. Wow. I just poured it on my palette here. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it won't work. Oh gosh. Oh, this is so weird. This paint is like water. I think it's like old. So let's see. Let's see how this works. I'm blooping it on. Bloop, 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 bloop. And then maybe I can pull some of this into that. Well, that's weird. Hmm. Interesting. Not a big fan. It's kind of got chunks in it. I don't think I like it. So we'll do that again. Let's see. Mama Jane says, watch numerous cowboy shows where women were saved, so I thought the same about being rescued by a man with a lot of love for me. Yeah. I want to talk more about that. Hey, Charles. It's good to see you. Says, learned about love from watching my parents. Oh, and he says, I know I'm rare. Yeah. um, I want to talk about that, and also I want to go back to like what my mom was just saying about how growing up with these messages of like the woman, the woman that needs to be rescued, like that gives us some like big subconscious um messaging that first of all we need to be saved, right? Like that messaging right there is really big. And it's not true, right? And not only is it a message that we need to be saved, but it's also a message that one, something's not good enough, right? Like something's not good enough with you, and then when you experience this, then you'll be worthy. Um, I like this brush. Um, and that also, not only that, but it also gives us this message that something outside of us will be the key to love, as opposed to finding, cultivating, creating love from within. And like these are really messed up messages that have been passed down through movies and religions, really. Hey, Tina. Tina says that she is still learning about love. I hope that we're all still learning about love, personally. I'm glad you said that. Like, I hope that we're all still learning about love. Because to me, love is expansive. Like it grows. So it's like, well, if it grows, then that means I need to grow, which means I get to explore more about this love thing. Pretty Woman was that rescue kind of movie. Yeah, it really was. Must be rescued. What? And I remember just wanting so badly in so many ways to be Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. And like really, at some point, I was subconsciously programmed by a movie that I wanted to be a prostitute? Like, really? But, like, because she had to be the prostitute before she could be saved, you know? But that was the movie. Tina says, if you don't love yourself and you don't know what love is, you won't ever find it. That's true. He says you have some very nice looking brushes there. They look really nice, don't they? I got these at their Artist's Loft brand, which I think is the brand that Michaels carries. I think it might be like their store brand or something like that. So it's actually they're at a really good price point. They're not $1 billion. I know you're surprised that they're not $1 billion because everything else that I have is worth $1 billion. JK. But yeah, they're really good brushes. I like them. I thought so. I've been journaling since I was 9. I had gotten a diary for my birthday on my ninth birthday from my mom's mom, and so many of the things that I journaled about. Um, I journaled about my hair a lot because I hated it because I didn't know what to do with it. But I journaled a lot about love, and it wasn't directly about love, but when I look back at it, because I still have it, um, I I was writing about love, and that was what I wanted. I wanted to be loved and accepted. I wanted to be wanted, um, and that's what I wanted. And because it was never because like, right, but for all the reasons of just the lived experience that I had, I searched for it outside of me. Like, it needed to come to me. And then, but for it to come to me, I had to be good enough. Ooh, now that was a whole other system of belief that I got to move into. It's like, if I don't feel worthy of love, then I wouldn't feel worthy of being saved by the prince, the knight in shining armor, or whatever the story was. But I didn't feel as a kid worthy of love. I grew up in a household with an older brother, and my experiences were with him were not the most loving or kind. And he used to joke and tell me that I was adopted and that my real family didn't want me. And so, for much of my early childhood development, I had a belief that I was not wanted. And the joke went on for about 5 years of the most imprintable time of my life, right? Between the ages of 1 and 7 were the most impressionable. And that's when the stories of me being adopted were given. And so then when I saw these movies about, the princess being saved, or the the knight in shining armor, or the prince kissing Sleeping Beauty, or whatever that story is. I don't remember that one very much. Like, I was like, I want that. Like, I want someone to come and get me because my only story is that someone got rid of me. But I want someone to come and get me. Yeah. Charles says, so learned about the love languages. Do your love languages change over time? so that one language is no longer serving your needs. Um, uh, sorry, I just read what my mom wrote. It says another show with Superman wanted him to save me, not Lois Lane. That's funny. Um, love languages are just expressions of love. So they're not. So it's like we would like to have different expressions of love because we express love differently in our nature, right? Like I sometimes I want to tell someone how much I love them. And sometimes I don't want to tell them. Sometimes I just want to send them flowers. And sometimes I want to give them a hug. So it's like the different. I'm just going to mix these colors together on my palette. So it's like the love languages to me are just the different ways we express ourselves. And I think when we're really comfortable with and in love, then we can express so many of them. When we've healed a lot of our love traumas, we can express love in a bunch of different ways. Tina says, you don't want what you want. You don't want that what you want is to be loved or to be worthy of love. You already are. Oh, you don't want that. What you want is to be loved or be worthy of love, which you already are. Yes. That. But those movies don't teach us that, right? Like movies, like Cinderella wasn't taught like, oh, Cinderella, like you're free to leave this really abusive household, but she was like, I can't. I have to clean it. Story of Cinderella, that's a messed up one. This is really fun. I'm really enjoying this lighter color in here. I needed the lighter to break this up. Like, I needed this. I needed this in my life. This is the color I needed. Which I just mixed the light pink with that last pink that I used and that real watery one that I said sucked. I just mixed it together on my plate, my palette plate. And then I'm lightly kind of scooping into the really wet colors and bringing them in. So I'm using a really light touch. Talk to me more about love, y'all. Whatever about love. Anything. You know what I find weird about love is that like when we're in relationships, sometimes it's so hard to say it when the relationship is new. Sometimes when the relationship is old, we say it so much that it doesn't even have this like depth and meaning and feeling to it anymore. It's just like, I love you, okay, I love you, bye. And it's like it feels nice to hear it, but it's like it loses that poignant punch of goodness that it is. Um and then like it's so funny. I was dating this guy this one time, and he was if he were to be labeled by a professional, he would have been labeled as a narcissistic sociopath. um, I was good at learning lessons through relationships. Anyway, um, so one day, out of like nowhere, he said, "I love you," and I could tell that it was like it struck me as like that's weird. And so it took me aback. I literally like my head jerked back, and that's not a good response. Like if somebody tells you I love you and your head physically jerks back, That's a sign. Don't stay in that relationship. Anyway, but I looked at him and I was like, what? What? Why? Why? I don't, thanks. That was the actual conversation. Because I like to make things awkward. Um, but I also couldn't say it back. And it's because it wasn't that, it wasn't. Nah. But like, I feel like we're forced sometimes to express love in ways that we don't want to. Like in intimate ways, like going back to the idea of Santa Claus, right? Sit on his lap, smile for the camera. That shit's weird. But it's like, the only other person's lap I'd ever sat on before Santa was like a safe relative, and then all of a sudden it's like, do this thing. It's very weird how like we will force love out and not just let love be. Tina says, I'm watching my boss trying to open a soap barrel. It's funny. I'm not showing love right now. I mean, you can be showing love. I think some things are funny. Some things are funny. And I mean, if you're like being mean and unkind and making fun of, yeah, probably not so great. Um, and there's just something funny about watching life happen. Like, I don't know. Hope your boss gets the soap barrel open. Charles says everyone wants to hear thanks as a reply. Yeah, especially when you're told I love you. Thanks. Yeah, he didn't say it again after that. So that was good. Maybe it was what he was telling one of his other girlfriends. Literally. I just realized what I do when I paint. I put so much paint on it. Oh, y'all, this does not look nearly as cool as what it does. Oh, okay, I'll show you all in just a second. This paint is starting to dry, so I want to finish up with this color before it dries more. Or get more of this color on it before it dries more. I forgot what I was going to say because I started talking about the painting. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I put the color on so thick on the canvas that I use it, as you know, I don't know if you noticed, like I'm tapping into the middle to bring some of these colors out into this part of the canvas. If that's not a symbol for life. But I like that. It's like the painting, the canvas is my palette. Mom says, let's see, love can be so deep it aches. That's how deep my love is for all my children. When you say aches, will you expand on that? What do you mean? Because like I love so deeply that I cry. And it's not out of a pain. It's just like, oh my God, it's just it's like this deep resonance of how I love. That's why I love to travel. I feel that love so much when I travel. Oh, this is interesting. I'm going into the divots that I've created. And I'm just kind of like tapping this light color in it, and it's kind of cool. Kind of really cool. I love feeling love so much that I cry. I'm telling you, to me, there's nothing better. I like, it's weird that I like this, but I like it when it happens in really weird times. It happens in meditation for me. If I allow myself to like actually stop and like look at something for a long time, I usually fall more in love and then I cry because it feels so deep. what's the biggest thing you all love? That's a question. What's the biggest thing you love? I can't wait to show you this, by the way, after I get this pink color on here. Because it's drying. Which means that I'll probably just end up changing the direction of what I'm doing. Because when it starts to dry, I'm like, oh, guess it's time for me to change it. My children and dogs are the biggest things that you love. Talking about the heart aching, Mom says, same here with the tears and crying. When I think about it or see my children, my heart is pounding so hard with love that it aches. Aw, isn't that fun? Like, how cool is it that we can love so much that it actually hurts? And yet we fear, like, oftentimes, like, we will fear actually getting into relationships because we don't want it to hurt if it ends. And it's like, well, if we're actually brave enough to be vulnerable enough and actually love to the bigness that we can, that shit kind of hurts. Like, like in a really beautiful way. You know, it's almost like that wiggling of a loose tooth. Like that shit kind of hurts, but it also feels really good, you know? So what are the other big things y'all love? Tina says, oh yeah, I want to be taught how to love along with patience. Get a hound dog. Hound dogs are funny. And then what was that Elvis song, right? Nothing but a hound dog crying all the time. Is that what it was? You know, and then people get in places, right, where it's like they don't trust love. There are people, and I've been there, where it's like, I don't trust love because last time I fell in love it hurt. It's like, yeah, well, then you loved. Cool. How awesome is that? You loved. I don't know what this red color is, but I want more of it. Nope, not that one. Must be this one. Yes, there we go. It's like ready red. This happens when you are repeatedly hurt. Yeah, you know, it's like we get. It's not the red I wanted. Oh, it's this one. Ah, yes. I was like, where did the red go that I want? There it is. The snotty red. Snotty red. Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. What is hurt? Let's go here. If we're talking about love, we can't talk about love without talking about hurt. What is hurt? Expectations, ideas, dreams that aren't met, right? Like that's how I kind of see it. It's like, oh, I had this idea, I had this expectation that this was going to be this way. I thought that we were going to have a date night every week and we haven't had a date night in 10 years, you know, or, you know, I expected them to be committed, but we never really talked about what commitment was, or like whatever. Like, what is hurt? Is hurt not just disappointment? The time frame to get through a disappointment? What is hurt to you all? Deep thoughts. What is hurt? It's a deep hurt when you give all the love you have and it's not reciprocated. Ah, thank you for sharing that. Here's a question. Do you love trees? Of course, right? Like, that's the thing. We have expectations of how we should be loved back. We do. I need to be loved back like this because this is the way I'm loving you. Goes into the 5 love languages. Well, if my love language is words of affirmation and I tell someone all the time that I love them, but their love language is gifts, they might not even understand how much I love them because I'm not showing it in the way that they can actually pick up. So they may be reciprocating it. I was married this one time, and his love language was acts of service. So he would do things all the time. If I said, "Oh, I wish we had a new end table," he would just build one, right? Um, but he never once commented, like he never spoke words of love. Like that just wasn't his jam. Not with me. Um, and so it's like we get hurt because we have expectations of how we should be loved back. And love is unconditional. So love doesn't need it. Love doesn't need to have it come back on itself at all. Like, I don't love the tree because it's going to give me a hug back. I don't love the earth. Well, I mean, I was going to say the earth doesn't do anything back, but it literally gives us everything we need. Um, but that's just a concept, right? It's like, we have expectations of how we should be loved. And like, not talking about abuse and like crap like that. Like, duh, that's not acceptable. But like, to assume that because I call someone that they don't call me, that they don't love me. What if that's not their way they show love? Does anyone else have anything to say about hurt? I mean, we can talk about love without hurt, but like, kind of par for the course. Green tea. Oh, I'm going to show you what I've done because it doesn't look nearly the same. Can you see? Oh, that's very wet looking. It looks way cooler in real life. I'm cute. Wow. It really does. It looks just like a bunch of nothingness on here. But I'm going to add my favorite. I'm going to add some gold and pink into the center and have it kind of start to radiate out. But I'm going to use a totally different brush, a little baby one. Baby brush. And I'm going to put it in the divots. I know you can't really see it. Oh, you could see it. Cool. The divots where it's like not the raised paint, that's where I'm going to put the gold. And so it can kind of like blob in there. And that way I can like work it into the surrounding areas. What on my face? Tina says, I like it. I'm at work in the OR, so it's reminding me of the human body at the moment. Ooh, I bet. Guts. That's the thing, right? Like, we'll love everything so freely. Like, we'll love the earth. We'll love a cloud. We'll love a baby. We'll love a dog. And dogs like literally poop on our floors. Like it's so interesting how like but when we get in relationship, it's like everything changes on how this person needs to love me back. We do that. We have expectations. Anyway, but back to what Tina said about the body, because it made me think about the body and like, could y'all imagine a world where like, because like if this is like the inside of a body, it's the same for everyone. It's pretty much blood and guts. It just is. We all have the same ish blood and guts. So if like the world would be such a different place if we felt comfortable to love each other, just to love each other. Like I'm gonna love Biden just as much as I'm gonna love Trump because they're both exactly the same. They're just in different bodies. People don't like to hear stuff like that though. If they have a lot of hate in their heart for one person or one type of person, it can be very triggering. I mean, I've had people that are like, "You said you love Trump or you love Biden." I'm like, I don't like them. I don't like either of them. And I will love the being that they are. So I know that no matter how paid and manipulated they are, that they're still doing the best they can. And what they do is they think that they're doing the best they can based on their belief systems. Again, I don't like it. I don't like either. I don't like politics. I don't like politics in America. Anyway, see, if y'all don't give me a topic, I'm just going to ramble. Which I'm okay with rambling, but it may not be as fun. Tina says, it's the cat who poops on the floor. Still love him. People hurt each other and only think of themselves. Makes it hard to love them. I do agree they are all doing their best. Yeah. Mom says we are to love one another. Yeah. Yeah, it's like we'll love the cat that literally poops on the floor. Literally licks itself until it forms a hairball and vomits it up on the floor. Like, and we still love that stupid cat. you know? We love the cat, and the cat's like, don't pet me. Okay, pet me. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna scratch your face off. Okay, pet me. Yeah. Like humans just have such a weirdo time in loving other humans for whatever reasons they have. And I've been that person. Like, I've been really good at, like, I don't love them. I hate them. They do this and that and the other. I dated a guy this one time. I didn't even call him by his name after we broke up because he was such a turd. I won't say what I called him because it's an expletive. Um, but like I never even referred to him by his name when I did refer to him. And I'm like, and it took me doing a lot of my own healing work to realize that I was still judging him for his actions. And not only was I judging him, then that meant that I was still in this victim consciousness. The woe is me, he did this to me. And then I remember the first time I actually said his name, it felt really weird and uncomfortable, but it was also really freeing. Very freeing. Mom says, with animals, their love is unconditional. Yeah, so why can't mine be? Right? So, like, why can't our love be unconditional? Like, would I only love something that can unconditionally love me back? Can I still love someone that loves me with conditions? Yeah, I can because it's up to me. I can love anybody if I want. if I open my heart up to it. But if I choose to not love someone because they don't unconditionally love me back, then I'm conditionally loving them. Charles says, hurt for me is not necessarily a disappointment, but more of a feeling of unworthiness. I'm not disappointed when love is not given back in the way that I wish it was. Cats are just four-legged people. That's true. That's true. They really are. Yeah, a feeling of unworthiness. That's a big one. That's a real big feeling. Tina says, Cat does not possess power to change. I can love you, but not allow you in my life. I can do things for you because I know you need it, but I don't have to sit with you. Exactly. Yeah, like we have this free will. We have the free will to do anything, to change our mind, to take a deeper breath. We have so much free will and autonomy, and yet we will choose to use that free will and withhold love. I mean, and if you think about it, think about like when kids are punished, right? And they're grounded, right? You're grounded. You can't go play with your friends. I'm going to take away your toys. The things that you love, I will take away from you as your punishment. So we have been brought up in a reality where love is removed as punishment. That's weird. When you look at other cultures, people that like break the law and do like real dumb shit, um, they will actually, there are some tribes that would bring the people that committed the crime, bring them into the center of like a circle, and basically be told by everyone in the family, the tribe, the community, all the reasons that they are loved. And that was when the deep healing occurs, because love actually heals. But what we do in our culture is we remove love. Let's put them in a cell. They did something that we don't agree with. Punishment forever. It's messed up. In my humble opinion, if I am right. Yeah. It's like, I'm only going to love you if you love me. I'm only going to love you if you love me the way I want you to love me. And if we waited for that, that's kind of like the eye for an eye, right? Except in a from a different perspective. It's like an eye for an eye with this like underbelly of we'd all end up without love. If I'm not going to love you until you love me. Well, if the other person says that, then we're at a stalemate. And then it'd be like the battery died. Like, could you imagine if our bodies treated us that way? Oh, like if our bodies said, "Oh, here you go. You don't really love me, so I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna have your heart stop beating just for a couple hours, just until you can remember to love me again." Like it doesn't do that because we would die. Mom says, "Let's see. Some cultures cut off a limb when someone has committed a crime." Yeah, the opposite of loving. And those are the people. That's more similar to the American mental health system right there. Except instead of cutting off a limb, we put people with mental health problems, even though they're not. They're just unsupported and unhealed traumas. Anyway, that's what we do in our American culture. Instead of cutting off a limb, we put them into a little box, you know, and we're like, no sunshine, no community, no nothing. Like, just makes me think about like it's just a loss of freedom. Freedom is taken away. A freedom to love, a freedom to be in community, a freedom to human. Green teeth. Okay. I added gold. Game changer. I need to see this. I'm grooving on it. I'm grooving on it. I'm grooving on it. Just want to add a little bit more color on this one side because it feels like I can see through it too much. You can see down to the blue bottom. The blue bottom is only fun when you're in an ocean. So just a heads up, y'all. I'll be here live next week. The last 2 weeks of February, this is going to be pre-recorded. So you're going to catch me painting. I'm going to do a similar, this is my intention right now. It may change. My intention is to paint, except using different color palettes. So today was the reds. I'm not sure what I'll do next. I've done blues and I've done purples with y'all. It was like pinks and purples, but then I added yellow and gold. um, but just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm going to be doing some traveling, but still want to offer and share. So that's my intention. Giving you a heads up. So I'd like for you to still like if you get a chance to watch it and like comment. Maybe you could like use it to watch and listen to while you do your creative thing. That could be really cool. Because I know that like for you to be creative with me is maybe not so easy. And to like participate and to like chime in. But maybe the last 2 weeks, not next week, but the last 2 weeks of February, maybe when you watch this, since it'll be pre-recorded, maybe you could use that as your time to be creative yourself. Kind of like painting along with Bob Ross. I'm not Bob Ross, but I have his hair. JK, it's my hair. Which I know that I can tell that like things are shifting in my creative realm because I'm starting to want to color my hair. It's been a long time since I've colored my hair. For anybody that knows me, you know this is true. But I don't know. Feel changes are coming. Cool. That's better. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm complete. I'll show you. Leave it alone. Now, you know, if you tell me to leave it alone, Mom, I'm probably going to be more apt to do it. Plus, every single time I say I'm going to color my hair, you always say, leave it alone. And then when I do it, you always say, well, that's pretty. Ta-da! So we'll look at this next week and see the dried result because you know it's going to look different when it's dry. But I'm excited to see this one dry because I put the paint on really thick in the middle. It has like a lot of like movement to it. Movement. Mom says highlight your hair. Well, that's what I would do. I'm not coloring the whole thing like that. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good as I take the paintbrush one more time. I see a spot that I wanted to add gold to. Just a little baby. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay. Nope, that didn't work. Boop. Nope, that didn't work. I'm Trying to get a little gold bloop in this one little spot. There we go. Literally, it was like the tiniest little bit. Oh, you really like this painting? Thank you. We'll see what it looks like next week. I am so grateful that y'all are here and that you joined me for this. Painting is such medicine for me. Like for real, um, it keeps me healthy. It keeps me well. It keeps my creative energy moving, and having you all here with me, it makes a really big difference. Like it, and then I think I've said this before, but like just your presence, like your energy is in these paintings. So thanks, y'all. I love you all so much and appreciate you. And hopefully, you keep doing something fun and creative. And I will see you all next week. Um, I'll be here painting another painting because I still have a few canvases, and I've been really enjoying these paintings. If you guys get bored with me painting for the next couple weeks, like send me a message or whatever, and just be like, "Hey, draw, do poetry, whatever." Like, just I'll try it. If I haven't done it, I'll try it anyway. So take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Rinse out your brushes really well. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, y'all.